Every great achievement begins as a single thought, a vision lodged in the mind of one who refuses to accept mediocrity. It is not circumstance that shapes destiny, nor talent that ensures triumph, but the ability to see beyond the present, to imagine that which does not yet exist, and to commit oneself wholly to its attainment. The moment you decide to stretch beyond the comfortable, beyond the familiar, you set in motion forces within yourself that the world cannot restrain. Yet this decision, simple as it may appear, is rare. It demands clarity, courage, and mastery over the very impulses that would deter the ordinary. Consider the average person. They drift through life, responding to events, influenced by others, trapped by the inertia of habit. Their goals, if they exist at all, are safe, predictable, small, and unchallenging. They fear failure more than they desire success, and so their vision is narrow, their ambition constrained. They mistake activity for progress, motion for achievement, and comfort for accomplishment. Their lives pass as shadows of what might have been, unremarkable, untested, unrealized. Now contrast this with the individual who dares to set goals that stretch the limits of possibility. Such a person refuses the chains of complacency. They understand that the human mind, once directed with intensity and purpose, is capable of extraordinary creation. They see opportunity in adversity, potential in uncertainty, and strength in challenge. They do not simply react to the world. They shape it through the force of intention, discipline, and unwavering focus. Stretch goals are not achieved by accident. They are not the product of luck, fortune, or random happenstance. They are the product of a deliberate process, a precise architecture of thought, emotion, and action. First, you must cultivate clarity of vision. What do you truly desire? What is the objective so compelling that it draws your attention, your energy, and your thought like a magnet? Definite purpose is the foundation upon which stretch goals are built. Without clarity, ambition is wasted, energy dissipated, and potential unrealized. But clarity alone is insufficient. The individual who stretches beyond the ordinary must also cultivate detachment from comfort, from immediate gratification, and from fear. Stretch goals challenge you. They provoke resistance from within and from the world. They demand that you withstand doubt, criticism, and the temptation to retreat. Emotional mastery is essential. If you allow fleeting discouragement, fleeting discomfort, or fleeting opinion to govern your actions, you forfeit the opportunity to rise. But if you command your mind and govern your emotions, you command the trajectory of your future. Every goal, especially those that stretch you, is bound by the law of mental exactness. A goal without specificity is a dream. A goal articulated with precision becomes a plan, a roadmap, and a rallying point for every decision, every thought, every action. Determine the exact outcome you seek. Define the parameters of success with clarity that leaves no room for ambiguity. Set deadlines that impose urgency and cultivate discipline. The mind thrives on precision. It falters in vagueness. When your goal is exact, your focus becomes unstoppable. Stretch goals also demand anticipation of obstacles. The path to extraordinary achievement is never smooth. You will encounter doubt, resistance, and setbacks. The undisciplined will perceive these as insurmountable, as evidence that the objective is unattainable. The disciplined, mentally sovereign individual sees them as predictable components of the process. They are not interruptions. They are tests. They are opportunities to refine strategy, sharpen skill, and strengthen resolve. Emotional detachment allows you to confront challenges without surrender, and mental discipline ensures that each response is deliberate, informed, and directed toward progress. It is essential to recognize the role of incremental mastery in achieving goals that stretch you. A stretch goal is not conquered in a single stride, but in a series of deliberate, focused steps. Each action, each decision, each repetition compounds. Progress accumulates like compound interest in the bank of achievement. The individual who understands this principle structures daily, measurable steps toward the larger objective. They monitor progress, adjust strategy, and persist with consistency. Fortune favors not the impassioned, erratic dreamer, but the disciplined architect of achievement. Another fundamental principle is the law of emotional transmutation. Every great challenge, every stretch goal evokes resistance. Fear, anxiety, doubt, and discomfort arise naturally. These emotions are neither inherently destructive nor inherently beneficial. Their effect depends on your response. Mastery of emotion allows you to transmute these internal forces into fuel. Fear becomes vigilance, discomfort becomes resilience, doubt becomes inquiry. The same experience, handled differently, produces failure or success. Your inner mastery is the mechanism by which ordinary circumstance is converted into extraordinary outcome. Stretch goals also require alignment of thought and action. It is insufficient to visualize success while failing to act. It is insufficient to act impulsively without a plan. Every thought must be deliberate, every decision intentional, every action consistent with the larger objective. Mental discipline ensures alignment, preventing distraction and misapplication of effort. Emotional detachment ensures resilience in the face of setbacks, preserving the momentum of progress. The combination of clarity, discipline, and emotional control produces unstoppable advancement toward your goal. Let us now examine the principle of strategic audacity. Goals that stretch you must exceed the limitations of conventional expectation. They must compel ingenuity, provoke courage, and inspire growth. If your goal can be achieved comfortably, without exertion or risk, it does not stretch you. It may provide satisfaction, but it does not cultivate greatness. Stretch goals force you to confront limitations, transcend them, and discover capabilities you did not previously know existed. They are the proving ground of character, skill, and determination. The mechanism of visualization is central to achieving stretch goals. Mental imagery, rehearsed with intensity and fidelity, prepares the mind and body to perform in reality. Visualize each step, each challenge, each interaction required to attain the objective. Imagine obstacles arising and see yourself overcoming them with composure, skill, and creativity. By rehearsing success internally, you condition perception, response, and action. Your mind begins to recognize opportunity, detect solutions, and orchestrate behavior aligned with the goal. Persistence is the engine that drives stretch goals. Setbacks, delays, and failures are inevitable. The individual who succeeds is not the one who avoids difficulty, but the one who endures, adapts, and continues without surrender. Mental discipline sustains persistence by reinforcing focus and structuring action. Emotional detachment sustains it by preventing discouragement, resentment, or reactive abandonment. Together, these qualities ensure that every setback becomes a lesson, every obstacle a springboard, every failure a stepping stone toward ultimate attainment. Stretch goals also demand the cultivation of selective focus. Distraction is the enemy of extraordinary achievement. Emotional turbulence, external opinion, and trivial concerns compete for attention. The disciplined mind prioritizes relentlessly, allocates energy strategically, and maintains attention on the tasks that yield the highest leverage toward the objective. Every thought, every decision, every action must converge upon the ultimate outcome. The mind that allows diffusion of attention weakens its influence. The mind that maintains focus multiplies its power. Finally, the individual who sets goals that stretch them must cultivate the practice of reflection. Daily examination of thought, action, and progress reveals errors, illuminates opportunities, and strengthens strategy. Reflection is not passive. It is active, intentional, and corrective. The disciplined individual uses reflection to refine methods, reinforce success, and eliminate inefficiency. Without reflection, growth stagnates, momentum falters, and the potential of the mind remains unfulfilled. Let us now explore the indispensable principle of accountability in achieving stretch goals. Success, particularly the extraordinary kind, does not tolerate excuse or rationalization. The individual who attains greatness accepts full responsibility for every action, every decision, and every outcome. External circumstances are acknowledged, but they are never used as justification for inaction or failure. Emotional mastery ensures that blame does not dominate thought, while mental discipline ensures that responsibility transforms into deliberate action. Accountability is the bridge between intention and achievement, and without it, goals remain abstract, dreams remain idle, and potential remains unrealized. The individual who seeks to stretch themselves must also master the principle of incremental excellence. A stretch goal is rarely accomplished in a single dramatic leap. It is the accumulation of precise, disciplined action, consistently applied over time. Each day, each task, each decision contributes to a compounding effect that magnifies impact beyond expectation. The mastery of daily behavior, the refinement of thought, the deliberate management of emotion all converge to propel the individual inexorably toward the ultimate objective. Excellence is not an accident. It is habit, compounded, disciplined, and intentional. Consider the power of emotional neutrality in navigating obstacles. Every significant goal encounters resistance, unforeseen challenges, contrary opinion, and unexpected setbacks. Emotional reactivity amplifies frustration, diminishes clarity, and diverts energy. Emotional neutrality, however, permits observation without disruption, strategic adjustment without despair, and deliberate action without distraction. The mind that remains detached in adversity preserves its authority, maintains momentum, and discovers solutions that the reactive mind overlooks. Now, let us examine the principle of stretching beyond perceived limits. The human mind often misjudges capability, underestimating potential because of habitual constraints or fear of failure. Stretch goals force you to confront these illusions. They demand courage, creativity, and deliberate persistence. The act of setting a goal that exceeds perceived ability catalyzes growth, compels learning, and provokes the discovery of latent strengths. By deliberately challenging your limits, you condition the mind to operate beyond expectation, and you teach the spirit to embrace possibility rather than settle for adequacy. Visualization, applied with intensity and precision, strengthens this process. Close your eyes and imagine the goal realized, the steps taken, the challenges overcome, the mastery demonstrated. Feel the emotions, the energy, and the satisfaction that accompanies the achievement. Mental rehearsal embeds the experience into perception, conditions, response, and accelerates execution. When real obstacles arise, the mind recalls the rehearsal, and action flows with confidence rather than hesitation. This is not fantasy. It is preparation, discipline, and mastery in motion. The discipline of selective engagement is also paramount. Every stretch goal requires focus on high-leverage actions. Distraction, emotional turbulence, and trivial concerns threaten to dissipate energy. Emotional detachment allows you to disengage from provocation, criticism, and unnecessary interference. Mental discipline ensures that attention is allocated to the tasks that produce maximum impact. The combination of detachment and focus is a multiplier. It allows a single mind, directed and controlled, to achieve results far beyond ordinary expectation. Persistence, the engine of monumental achievement, is inseparable from mastery over self. When obstacles emerge, and they always will, the untrained mind falters, surrenders, and abandons purpose. The disciplined, detached mind endures, adapts, and continues with unwavering focus. Each setback becomes a lesson, each difficulty a catalyst, each failure a temporary diversion rather than a permanent defeat. Persistence is the product of disciplined thought and controlled emotion. It is the force that transforms intention into accomplishment. Equally important is the principle of clarity in goal setting. A stretch goal must be precise, measurable, and specific. Ambiguous objectives produce diffuse effort, wasted energy, and erratic action. By defining the goal with exactness, you create a roadmap for execution. Mental discipline aligns daily action with this roadmap. Emotional detachment prevents discouragement or reactionary deviation when obstacles appear. Together, precision and control create an environment in which extraordinary outcomes are not just possible, they are inevitable. Now, consider the application of foresight. Anticipate challenges, objections, and difficulties before they arise. Visualize the moments in which your resolve may waver, your focus may be tested, and your plan may require adjustment. By rehearsing responses in advance, you condition the mind to act with composure and effectiveness under real-world pressure. Anticipation transforms uncertainty from threat to opportunity and from distraction to strategy. The individual who anticipates is never caught unprepared, and the mind trained in foresight dominates circumstance rather than being dominated by it. Accountability and reflection converge in a powerful process of refinement. Daily review of thought, action, and result illuminates errors, reinforces strategy, and identifies opportunity. Emotional detachment ensures objective evaluation, unclouded by ego or regret. Mental discipline ensures that reflection produces correction and improvement rather than rumination. By practicing this cycle of action, reflection, and adjustment, the individual continuously elevates competence, skill, and effectiveness. Let us now examine the transformative effect of setting goals that exceed the ordinary. Such goals provoke innovation, compel learning, and cultivate resilience. They demand mastery of thought, control of emotion, and deliberate action. They require the individual to operate beyond comfort, beyond habit, and beyond expectation. Stretch goals are the crucible in which greatness is forged. They teach the mind to embrace challenge, the spirit to endure adversity, and the character to persist without surrender. The interplay of mental rehearsal, strategic focus, and emotional control produces a unique power, the ability to act decisively under pressure. When a crisis arises, the untrained mind hesitates, reacts, and falters. The disciplined, rehearsed mind observes, calculates, and executes with precision. Each stretch goal achieved reinforces this capacity, compounding skill and authority. The individual becomes not merely capable, but formidable, not merely competent, but influential, not merely ambitious, but unstoppable. Now, consider the law of cause and effect as it relates to goals that stretch you. Every action, thought, and emotional response produces consequence. Neglect, distraction, or impulsive reaction diminishes potential. Deliberate, disciplined, and emotionally controlled action magnifies achievement. The mind governs outcome. Mastery of the inner world produces command over the outer world. This is the ultimate cause and effect relationship. Govern thought, govern emotion, govern action, and success becomes inevitable. The principle of incremental mastery is also crucial. A stretch goal is not conquered in a single moment, but through persistent, consistent effort. Each deliberate action compounds. Each measured decision adds leverage. Each small victory accumulates. Emotional detachment allows composure when effort is unrecognized, slow, or difficult. Mental discipline ensures consistency when motivation fluctuates or obstacles arise. Together, these qualities guarantee that the individual progresses daily, inexorably, toward the ultimate objective. Stretch goals also cultivate resilience, patience, and adaptability. The human mind naturally resists challenge, prefers comfort, and fears failure. A goal that stretches you forces confrontation with these tendencies. Emotional mastery converts resistance into energy, discomfort into insight, and fear into preparation. Mental discipline maintains action despite adversity. Patience ensures perseverance. Adaptability enables flexibility without surrender. Through the pursuit of stretch goals, the individual develops capacities that ordinary objectives cannot cultivate. Visualization, accountability, selective engagement, and strategic rehearsal converge to create momentum. Momentum is the force that propels action, accelerates learning, and magnifies results. It is generated by consistent, deliberate effort aligned with purpose. It is sustained by emotional detachment and mental discipline. The individual who maintains momentum overcomes resistance, outpaces competitors, and achieves outcomes previously deemed improbable. Momentum is both the measure and the mechanism of mastery. The principle of focus is inseparable from stretch goals. Attention is the currency of achievement. Distraction is bankruptcy. Every thought, every decision, every action must be allocated with intention. Emotional turbulence is neutralized through detachment. Mental discipline directs effort with precision. Focus multiplies effectiveness, accelerates progress, and ensures that each resource, time, energy, and attention is applied where it produces the greatest return. Finally, persistence and resilience converge with clarity, rehearsal, and focus to produce the ultimate effect, the realization of stretch goals. Success is not random. Achievement is not accidental. It is the product of deliberate thought, disciplined action, and controlled emotion, applied consistently toward clearly defined, audacious objectives. The individual who masters this process attains outcomes far beyond what would seem possible. They become architects of destiny, sculptors of circumstance, and masters of their own lives. And now, as we arrive at the summit of understanding, hear this. The true power of a stretch goal lies not merely in its achievement, but in the transformation it demands of you. You are not simply reaching for an external outcome, you are forging a new version of yourself. Every step toward a goal that stretches your limits, strengthens character, sharpens intellect, fortifies resolve, and cultivates mastery over the mind. Achievement is the reward, but mastery is the prize. Consider this principle. The world will not grant permission for greatness. Opportunity does not knock with polite insistence. Fortune does not favor those who wait for comfort, ease, or approval. You must claim it, you must step beyond fear, you must move decisively, deliberately, and relentlessly. Emotional detachment allows you to face uncertainty without hesitation. Mental discipline ensures that each choice is calculated, each action directed, and each thought aligned with purpose. These qualities produce inevitability. When the mind, heart, and will converge, success becomes not possibility, but certainty. Let us examine the inevitability of action aligned with purpose. Knowledge alone, without application, is impotent. Thought alone, without deliberate execution, is sterile. Vision alone, without mastery over the self, is powerless. The individual who integrates clarity, discipline, and emotional sovereignty transforms intention into unstoppable force. Action becomes precise, resilient, and uncompromising. The world may resist, circumstances may obstruct, yet the inner force cannot be denied. Mastery of self is the lever by which even the heaviest obstacles are lifted. You must internalize this truth. Every great accomplishment begins within. If the mind is reactive, scattered, or enslaved by emotion, the body may act, but it will act without coordination, without precision, without power. If the mind is disciplined, calm, and strategically aligned, the body becomes an instrument of exacting effectiveness. Every decision, every interaction, every initiative resonates with authority, influence, and progress. Control your inner state, and you control the trajectory of your life. Stretch goals demand courage, the courage to risk, to endure, and to persist. The path will test your patience, your clarity, and your composure. Yet every test is an opportunity. Every obstacle is a teacher. Every failure is a rehearsal for mastery. Emotional detachment does not eliminate fear, but it prevents fear from dominating action. Mental discipline does not remove difficulty, but it ensures response is deliberate rather than reactive. Courage is amplified, fortified, and operationalized by these twin principles of mastery over mind and emotion. Remember this axiom: action without control is wasted, but control without action is hollow. The individual who succeeds integrates both. Mental discipline structures action with precision. Emotional mastery sustains effort without collapse. Vision directs every resource toward the objective. Consistency compounds momentum. Reflection corrects course. Persistence ensures that progress continues regardless of circumstance. This is the architecture of achievement: deliberate, disciplined, and unstoppable. Now, envision your goal. Let it stretch your imagination, expand your ambition, and provoke the discovery of your latent capacities. Feel the resistance rise within the doubt, the discomfort, the fear, and observe it not as a command but as information. Redirect its energy. Transmute hesitation into preparation, anxiety into focus, uncertainty into strategy. Every stretch goal is accompanied by these internal forces. Mastery lies in harnessing them rather than surrendering. Consider the principle of inevitability. When thought, action, and emotion are harmonized with purpose, the universe responds. Not because the world is compelled, but because the individual becomes a force of resolution, clarity, and persistence. Resistance may slow the process, delay recognition, and obscure immediate results. Yet the disciplined, detached, and focused mind operates with such precision that it moves inexorably toward completion. Success is no longer a matter of chance, it is the natural effect of internal alignment. Reflection and accountability continue to guide the journey. Each day, examine your progress, your decisions, and your emotional state. Correct deviations promptly. Reinforce effective strategies. Remove distractions. Strengthen discipline. Expand focus. Mastery is cumulative. Stretch goals are achieved not by sporadic brilliance, but by consistent, deliberate, emotionally regulated effort over time. The small choices, repeated daily, compound into extraordinary outcomes. As we reach the final understanding, embrace this ultimate principle. Your inner world determines the outer world. Emotional detachment frees the mind from chaos, distraction, and reactivity. Mental discipline directs energy, focus, and intention. Purpose aligns action with vision. Rehearsal, anticipation, and reflection reinforce mastery. Persistence sustains momentum. Together, these qualities form an unbreakable engine of achievement. The individual who cultivates them is no longer at the mercy of circumstance, opinion, or fear. They have become sovereign over themselves, and through themselves, sovereign over destiny. Stretch goals are more than objectives. They are invitations. Invitations to rise above limitation, to cultivate greatness, to discover strength previously unimagined, and to master the mind, the emotions, and the will. They demand audacity, endurance, and unwavering commitment. They test character, sharpen skill, and expand potential. And in the pursuit of such goals, the individual transcends ordinary life, achieving not merely outcomes, but the profound satisfaction of self-mastery and purpose fulfilled. Now, hear this final charge. Act decisively. Begin today, now, in this very moment. Define your stretch goal with precision. Identify the steps necessary to achieve it. Rehearse your actions mentally. Align your thoughts, emotions, and intentions with purpose. Accept responsibility without excuse. Persist with patience. Reflect with honesty. Focus with intensity. Engage with courage. Let no obstacle, no fear, no opinion, no transient discomfort divert you. The journey is demanding, but the reward is transformative. If you embrace these principles, emotional detachment, mental discipline, clarity of thought, deliberate action, persistence, and reflection, you will achieve not only the stretch goal before you, but a mastery of self that elevates every endeavor thereafter. You will become the architect of your destiny, the commander of circumstance, and the embodiment of possibility. The heights you can attain are limited only by the scope of your vision and the degree to which you govern your inner world. And so, I leave you with this enduring truth. Goals that stretch you are not merely to be accomplished, they are to be lived, absorbed, and internalized. The pursuit transforms the individual as much as the achievement transforms reality. Stretch beyond comfort, stretch beyond fear, stretch beyond expectation. Govern your mind, command your emotions. Act with discipline, clarity, and purpose. The world awaits your ascent, and nothing can prevent the individual who masters self from rising higher than ever imagined. Your goal is before you. Your mind is your instrument. Your emotions are your fuel. Your discipline is your engine. Stretch, persist, and rise. Unleash your potential. Command your destiny. And know this with unshakable certainty. The heights you reach, the life you create, and the legacy you leave are defined first and always by your mastery over yourself. The time for hesitation is over. The time for doubt has passed. You stand at the threshold of greatness, and the world waits for no one. Stretch goals demand not mere effort, but audacity. They require not mere planning, but courage. They call not for comfort, but for the unleashing of every ounce of your energy, your intellect, and your resolve. Feel this truth deep within. The heights you can achieve are limited only by the strength of your vision and the mastery of your mind. Every fear you have conquered, every discomfort you have endured, every moment of discipline you have practiced is a step toward an unstoppable ascent. There is no ceiling to what a mind disciplined, a heart detached, and a will determined can accomplish. No circumstance, no obstacle, no naysayer, no failure can impede the one who governs themselves completely. You are sovereign, you are unstoppable, you are destined. Imagine yourself at the pinnacle of your goal, stretching farther than you ever thought possible. See the horizon expand before you. Feel the energy, the exhilaration, the intensity of power coursing through every decision, every thought, every action. This is not fantasy, it is the natural consequence of deliberate mastery. Every choice you make, every second you spend mastering your thoughts and emotions compounds, momentum builds, power accumulates, influence expands. You are no longer a participant in life, you are the force that shapes it. And hear this, loud and clear. Hesitation is death to potential. Delay is the enemy of destiny. Every second you allow distraction, fear, or indecision to govern you is a second lost from the life you were meant to live. Stretch beyond what is comfortable, stretch beyond what is expected. Stretch beyond what even you previously believed possible. For within that stretch lies your evolution, your transformation, your ultimate triumph. Do you feel it, the fire that rises when purpose, courage, and mastery converge? That fire is unstoppable. It burns through limitation. It scorches fear. It illuminates clarity. It is the energy of a life lived without surrender, the power of a mind that refuses to be ruled by emotion, and the momentum of a will that refuses to bend before circumstance. Let that fire consume hesitation. Let that fire drive action. Let that fire define every heartbeat, every decision, every breath you take. And now, act. Act with authority, act with unrelenting discipline, act with the clarity and power that only mastery over self can produce. Leap into challenge, charge into adversity, confront discomfort with composure, doubt with calculation, and fear with deliberate courage. Every obstacle becomes opportunity. Every challenge becomes instruction. Every setback becomes fuel. Momentum accelerates. The world bends to those who refuse to surrender to it. You are one of them. You have been forged for this. You have been called to this. And nothing, not circumstance, not opinion, not failure can hold you back. Stretch goals are not merely to be achieved, they are to be dominated. They are to be seized with relentless intensity, executed with precision, and celebrated not for the end, but for the transformation they demand of you. You will rise beyond limitation. You will rise beyond fear. You will rise beyond expectation. You will rise beyond what others believe possible. Your ascent is inevitable because your mind, your heart, and your will are aligned, disciplined, and unconquerable. So claim it. Claim the audacity of your vision. Claim the supremacy of your discipline. Claim the power of your mastery. Step into the fire. Embrace the challenge, and rise with unstoppable momentum. The heights are yours. The life you dream of is yours. The destiny you deserve is yours. Nothing stands in your way but hesitation, and you have mastered yourself too long to surrender now. Now rise. Stretch farther than you have ever imagined. Push harder than you ever dared. Persist longer than you ever thought possible. Let your mind command, your heart drive, and your spirit soar. You are unstoppable. You are unconquerable. You are destined for greatness beyond measure. And the world will bear witness to the force you have become, the living proof that mastery of self is the ultimate power. And stretch goals are the pathway to the infinite heights of human potential. Rise now. Rise beyond limitation. Rise beyond fear. Rise beyond expectation. Stretch, persist, conquer, and let nothing, nothing, nothing stop you from ascending to the destiny that is already yours.